Hey, comment ça va tout le monde?
Hey, what's up? Oh mon Dieu, on a Janelle, IAMNOTMYHISTORY, on a PM, bboy afternoon avec nous aujourd'hui. Je suis vraiment contente de vous avoir.
Alors, on a notre épisode numéro 3 dans la boîte. C'est le Bulletin des cousins avec Julio Mendy.
Et Aïcha, a.k.a. Gaillance.
Alors, aujourd'hui, c'est la première fois qu'on va avoir des invités dans notre podcast. On va parler de culture, de streetwear, de la rue, de style. Et on va parler évidemment de nos places respectives, que ça soit entre Montréal et l'Europe, France, entre autres. On a deux personnes qui comptent énormément dans la culture de la ville. On va parler de b-boying, on va parler de DJ, on va parler de night culture, de qu'est-ce qui commence dans la rue et qui finit soit dans le club, soit dans le musée, soit dans des institutions de mode ou chez les grands couturiers. Mais on va juste essayer de remettre les choses un petit peu dans l'ordre chronologique de comment elles se passent, comment on les a vécues dans nos vies respectives. Et Aïcha, si tu veux présenter les deux invités, s'il te plaît.
Ben, pour ceux qui ne savent pas, on a Janelle ici, qui est DJ, qui est étudiant en mode, aussi qui est styliste pour Essence, puis qui a un style vraiment très particulier, là, une esthétique vraiment particulière. Moi, je trouve que tu es vraiment, you're the definition of having, jazz personality and G mentality,
You know what? Aaliyah's my...
I knew it. I knew it.
Inspiration.
You know, yeah.
She put out with the Jeep earlier, by the way.
Hey, she put up on the Jeep,
Just
like,
put it out there.
damn,
Black Jeep.
Exactly. And on a aussi Pierre-Michel Jean-Louis, b-boy afternoon. Yeah, my boy après-midi.
What's up? I pulled up on a big CEO.
Yeah.
Électrique.
Non, mais toi, t'as pull up en mode Thundercat avec son boombox, là, tu sais.
Derrière, j'ai entendu une grosse bassline quand tu marchais, tu vois.
Exactement, oui. Puis, tu sais, on s'entend, là, tu sais, t'es très connu dans le milieu de la danse. Tu t'impliques avec mon petit b-boying. Tu fais même tu donnes des workshops aussi dans le Nord avec les jeunes autochtones.
Nice.
Tu danses à Hong Kong, like, boy. On s'est même vu à Bruxelles. Like, you're there, man. Like it.
Trying.
Montréal est présent dans le monde entier.
Exactement. Montréal est présent dans le monde entier. Mais là, ce que je voulais savoir, là, c'est qu'est-ce qui commence dans la rue, tu sais, en termes de style vestimentaire, tout ça, là, tu sais, vu que t'es b-boy, t'es styliste, c'est aussi DJ, tout ça. I just wanted to know how do you conceive this whole street style thing, that we see everywhere?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, obviously, we can start from the beginning. I mean, obviously, streetwear. I think people have this misconception that, like, streetwear is, like, a Supreme box logo or, like, a Off-White Nike collab. But thank you. Streetwear obviously started in the streets, and especially in the 90s in New York with the hip-hop, and then in Cali in the West Coast with, like, the surf and skate scene. So I think that's really where it derives from. Obviously, street culture is Black people. We start everything. So
Just a reminder.
just so you know, if you didn't know. But yeah, I think it obviously starts in the streets, and yeah, I mean. That's,
And what would be your relationship to it, like on a personal level? Like, what is the first time you see something and you are like, oh, I want to emulate that.
the first time.
Like, I want to dress like this. Oh man, this is cool.
I mean, again, like going back to Aaliyah, like she was definitely, still is one of my biggest inspirations. Like, I
guess you were like young during the Tumblr generation when it was like a big aesthetic, like visually it was everywhere, you couldn't miss her.
Yeah, and I feel like that whole like tomboy style that like has since been adopted from like people like Vashti and like,
I love Vashti.
But it still originated from back then in the 90s, wearing baggy clothes, wearing like, I shop in the guy section all the time, as you can probably see. And just adopting something that feels really natural to you and it just comes easy. I think that's really where I look for inspiration. It's just if it comes easy. I don't try to force anything. If I like it, I like it. Some people don't like it. I don't really care. It's really,
it's just a self-expression.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it comes down to.
And since b-boying also is a self-expression, and I remember, je me souviens quand on dansait, il y avait toujours cette idée de keep your shoes clean, keep it clean, keep the shoes clean, when you dance,
Yeah.
Je veux que tu m'en parles de ça.
Je pense que vraiment dans le break, l'important, c'est vraiment, tu sais, il y a des gens qui oublient certaines facettes, mais une des plus grosses importances dans la danse, c'est how you look, de quoi t'as l'air, tu sais. And it doesn't just go, ça va pas juste au mouvement que tu vas faire, mais ça va être aussi qu'est-ce que tu portes, comment t'es habillé, comment tu te présentes. Il y a un b-boy alieness qui avait parlé de quelque chose, puis ça m'est toujours resté en tête. Il disait, yo, pour moi, le meilleur b-boy, là, c'était comme, je m'habillais tout en blanc, genre de la tête aux pieds, genre même les souliers, genre, puis j'allais danser toute la soirée. Puis si je me relevais, puis j'étais encore propre, yo, c'était moi le b-boy le plus fresh de la place. Fait que c'est vraiment le concept de comme, it's not necessarily what you have, but it's what you do with it.
Ça.
Puis c'est un peu ma vision du style. C'est comme, ça n'a pas besoin d'être une grosse marque ou quelque chose. C'est comme, when I look at it, does it look dope?
Exactly.
That's it. Parce que, tu sais, il y a toujours l'image aussi, there's always the image of la personne qui va se pointer sur le court de basket, qui a les souliers Nike qui matchent avec le tracksuit Nike, qui matchent avec le t-shirt Nike, qui matchent avec le headband, and it kind of looks corny. C'est comme, nah, it doesn't work. But you'll look at someone that comes with things that are color coordinated, c'est peut-être pas nécessairement la même marque, mais t'es comme, yo, that look is fresh, j'aime ça. Fait que c'est vraiment ça pour moi, plus le concept du style. How can you put things together?
Ça me fait penser aussi à Julio, on avait eu une discussion par rapport à ça, vu que Julio amène vraiment l'espèce de juice, tu vois, français, sud de la France.
C'est moi.
Exactement. Fait que, tu sais, parle-moi de ça, toi, ta perspective des choses.
Ben, nous, déjà, quand on était petits, ben, le football, c'était déjà gros chez nous. Donc, tout ce qui était... C'était un peu genre, tu sais, le ghetto fabulous, genre la vision en France, en tout cas. C'était un petit peu, si le joueur de foot le fait, c'est cool. Et après, c'est des codes qui ont été repris par les rappeurs. Et il y avait une espèce de crossover entre tout ça. Tu sais, genre certaines marques comme... genre, je sais que dans le sud, tu sais, on avait des marques bizarres comme Sebago, qui sont des chaussures de bateau, par exemple. Mais on rockait ça avec des fucking tracksuits.
En pot de pêche.
Genre, non, tracksuit, genre le Lotto ou le Adidas classique. Mais tout est comme cintré à mort. Le fait de rentrer d'avoir des grosses chaussettes de cartoon, genre Bart Simpson ou Mickey Mouse, et de rentrer tes survêtements à l'intérieur. ASICS et Biggs, man, dans le sud de la France, comme depuis des années. Donc, on avait déjà nos propres marques. Et l'intérêt du truc, en fait, c'était... personne n'avait les moyens de choper dans des boutiques cool, dans le fond. Donc, on chopait vraiment genre l'équivalent de Champs ici, quoi, tu vois. Et en fait, on cherchait toujours genre les colorways les plus bizarres, les affaires les plus bizarres, et qu'on pouvait rocker. On allait à Decathlon, et Decathlon, pareil, c'était comme genre... Les gens voulaient s'habiller comme ça parce qu'au bout du compte, si tes potes étaient habillés comme ça, toi, tu voulais être habillé comme ça. Et aujourd'hui, c'est drôle de voir des collaborations comme genre Aimé Léon Doré qui reprennent l'esthétique de la haine, que tu vois que les maisons genre font du tracksuit comme super tight, etc. Mais je pense pas que les gens réalisent vraiment d'où ça vient. Et je veux pas te donner tout le crédit à la France. Si tu prends l'Angleterre, si tu prends genre un petit peu l'esthétique d'Europe de l'Est, un peu genre le clandestin qui vient d'arriver en Italie. Oui. Donc tu vois, moi quand je vois les défilés de mode, je vois vachement ça en fait. Et je remarque que personne n'en parle. Et pareil, c'est des codes qui sont un peu comme les États-Unis. Un peu les mecs qui sortent de prison à Marseille, par exemple, les seules chaussures que tu pouvais acheter quand tu étais en prison, c'est des ASICS. Donc, c'est pas mythique pourquoi ASICS, des années plus tard, est mythique dans la street en France, quoi, tu vois. Donc, c'est que des petites histoires comme ça que si on recolle un petit peu les bouts ensemble, tu vois qu'il y a une espèce de chronologie et c'est là que ça commence et là que ça arrive. Donc, on parle toujours de streetwear en matière de faire la queue dans les magasins et de choper le truc exclusif. Mais moi, quand j'étais plus jeune, c'était vraiment l'opposé. C'était oh man, we're gonna make that shit fresh. Tu vois, et il y avait pas vraiment ça existait pas. Il y avait pas de référence pour. Oui, même s'il y avait une espèce de silhouette qui était assez commune, tout le monde essayait de rajouter un petit peu sa sauce. Moi, je me rappelle d'être habillé en survêt Lotto avec mes Reebok Royal et d'avoir genre un putain de code de Zara, d'aller à Decathlon et d'acheter des chapeaux de pêcheur avec les poches sur les côtés. Voilà, donc c'était comme important d'être vraiment unique, même si on répétait tous les mêmes codes, qu'on avait tous des héros quintéennes, même si on avait tous... façonnable, c'était big chez nous aussi, c'était un peu l'équivalent de Ralph Lauren, mais c'est comme vraiment du sud de la France et c'est comme une marque de voilier. Donc on avait vraiment des choses qui sont vraiment propres à la location, à la ville et
mais je me demande aussi, je me demande c'est quoi pour vous le look de Montréal, tu sais. C'est comme, est-ce qu'il y a un style à Montréal?
Est-ce qu'il y a des gimmicks montréalais ou des choses quand tu étais au lycée, par exemple?
Ça, ouais.
Ce genre de shit, quoi.
Vous êtes tous genre...
C'est difficile parce qu'à Montréal, c'est surtout par quartier. Genre,
Ouais, mais...
Moi, je viens de la Rive-Sud, South Shore, Brossard, represent. Puis, tu sais, il y a des trucs que, comme, disons, tu verrais sur la Rive-Sud que tu verrais pas à Montréal. Genre, tu sais, dans mon temps, tu pouvais regarder quelqu'un et dire, yo, lui, il vient de Longueuil, lui, il vient de Uptown. Puis, il y a une grosse différence entre Longueuil et Brossard. Pour ceux qui savent pas, là, même s'ils ont tout aggloméré, genre, c'est comme, non. Brossard is Brossard, Longueuil is Longueuil.
Mais t'as un exemple pour nous d'un truc qui se passait back then?
Un look qui était populaire pour beaucoup de gens, c'était tu portais des sneakers, sometimes white, avec des bas blancs. Tu mets tes jeans à l'intérieur, puis tu portes un bubble jacket par-dessus. Puis t'as un hoodie en dessous. Ça, c'était comme le look que beaucoup de gens avaient en hiver, genre.
OK.
Puis tu sais, tout dépendant, parce qu'aussi, je te donne un exemple. Tu sais, moi, j'ai été dans une école privée, fait qu'on avait un uniforme.
Ouais.
Puis dans le coin, comme toutes les autres écoles qui étaient autour avaient un uniforme. So the only way you could like sort of like push style on, c'était comme tes bottes, ou tes souliers, c'était une casquette ou un accessoire. Puis les écoles, ils étaient dans le temps, c'est comme you can wear sneakers. So if you did, you got Saturday detentions, ou bien non, tu pouvais pas porter des bottes blanches.
Donc c'était comme committed to the style, genre.
It's either like me, you spent a lot of time spending your Saturdays at school, ou bien t'essayais de trouver une manière de passer.
Le loophole.
Ouais.
Wow. Puis Janelle, do you have a...
Honestly, I don't know.
Or something you and your friend was like, oh, this is our thing. That's what we do here.
I don't know. I feel like no. I don't think there's like a signature thing that we like my friends and I would do, or even like just thinking about Montreal style. I feel like, and this is gonna sound really bad, but like I feel like when one thing gets like popping or cool, like everyone does it. Like it's really hard to like. It's not hard to stand up. It's actually really easy to stand up here because.
I feel this,
but it's not to be shady at all. Like I really don't mean
this.
to be shady, but it's like, and it's fine. I mean, that's society. When something's cool, everyone's gonna jump on it. But yeah, it's really not hard to really stand out here.
Il y a beaucoup d'exceptions en matière de géographie, de comment les gens vivent, etc. Même si on est en Amérique du Nord, mais bon, il ne faut pas oublier qu'on est en Amérique du Nord et que la culture aussi de l'Amérique du Nord en général déteint sur la ville aussi, et que ça, géographiquement parlant et culturellement parlant, les gens ont kiffé les mêmes sons, les mêmes films, les mêmes vidéos qu'il y avait en même temps, à cette époque-là.
Mais tu sais, je suis un peu la bizarre du lot dans tout ce truc-là. Because me, I never wore sneakers in my life.
Really?
Yes. I was,
That's crazy.
You know, I was the little skater punk kid, you know? I was the skater punk
What were you
kid.
wearing?
I was wearing Vans and Converse,
Okay,
you know?
But
Yeah.
those come Vans on, but they look like sneakers.
C'est ça, là, the pack, yeah. But, tu sais, comme, c'était vraiment ça, le style. Moi, si tu parles d'un truc comment on s'habillait dans notre coin, tu sais, I was going to high school in Hochelaga, Maisonneuve, and the style was like, on mettait des t-shirts avec, comme, Sesame Street, Care Bears, and, like, with these pearl necklace, and, like, our hair, like, emo haircut, and yeah.
You need to bring up pictures.
I need like.
Sur les dossiers, Aïcha, sur les dossiers.
That's what we have to do after the podcast. We all have to find like old pictures, just like.
If you're a listener, please, we're waiting for those pics.
Oh my God. But people know, they know. Genre, I was a mix of like hip hop and like, you know, Rastafari and skate and emo punk,
Make your own
whatever.
sauce.
Yeah. That was funny. Mais c'est vrai que, tu sais, en Amérique du Nord, on a comme pas le choix. We're all like together in this. So we have this influence, this North American influence, of course. But I feel like the word culture, I mean, it has been used,
Abused.
and abused.
Treated.
Everything is culture.
Genre, définitivement. Puis je voulais avoir votre take là-dessus.
What's culture?
Qu'est-ce que ça représente le mot?
Yeah,
what
because, you know, in
culture for you?
French, it's not the same. You know, if you translate, si on parle de culture and we speak in French, ça veut pas dire la même chose than if we say it in English. And being like Franco-Americans, let's say it like that, on dirait que ça bleue encore plus if we really talk about, you know, being here and locally, tu sais.
I mean, I can't help but not think of like my parents and my background. Both my parents are from Trinidad, so
Trinidad.
So when I think of culture, I obviously think of, you know, soca and carnival and all that stuff. But then I also, the food, you know what I mean? But then I also think of myself and where I grew up, and like, obviously that involves hip hop and art and, you know, all the things. So it is weird. It is a weird word.
Yeah, when you put it on a weight, like,
Yeah,
you know,
like, what
having
does that
like
really
such of
mean?
like density in the culture, and like limited things to a sound and to sneakers and a piece of garment is kind of like shorted the culture. It's like you need to talk about what the reference is and what come behind. So I always feel like the use of the word culture in the Black culture is kind of like shorten the conversation sometimes. It's like, oh, boom, it is what it is, and it's like it's frozen now.
Yeah, but it's at the same time, Blackness is so vast that it's like, it's everything. You know what I mean? Like, it really is everything. Culture for Black people is food, it's music, it's dance, it's we are the fucking Can I swear on here?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
We are the fucking, you know, originators of every single thing. So as vague as the word culture is, it really does, you know, cover a huge spectrum of like everything we are. It's like, what other word could you possibly use?
That I don't know. I just say that is just feel at this point that is just like a big band that we just throw everything in, and
for the culture.
I think like having nuances. No, but seriously, and like everything cannot be explained the same way. So it's just like please have some nuance, you know, like because like that's where the interesting conversation come from. This is where we can learn actually something. And if I just say culture, it's just like it's you lazy. Just feel like you just click. You can just click on it to get it. It's like no, man. Like there is history. There is people who came in the 70s, 80s, the sample, where they come from, like, and I don't even put the diaspora question into that, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, it's a conversation who can be taken like so deep, you know?
For sure.
So I think that's what my problem, entre guillemets, is with the word and how people use it.
I don't think it's necessarily the word that's the problem. It's people that are the problem, and people don't do their proper research to really understand what that word means, because it is a word and it has meaning and it can hold a lot of weight, but because people don't do research and, you know, really do their digging, it's kind of just like frivolous. It's just like a whatever, you know, a catchphrase at this point.
Talk about for the culture. Again, I'm gonna go with the b-boy and talk to you about, does b-boying influence you the way you dress up and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm the type of dude that like I have to check. Il faut que je vérifie comme est-ce que je vais pouvoir danser avec mes souliers? Comment je me sens si jamais il y a quelque chose qui se passe?
Est-ce que la chaîne elle va claquer ou pas?
Exactement. Everything sometimes is you take the dance into account. But when it comes to culture, quand ça vient à la culture, pour moi la manière la plus simple de définir c'est quoi de la culture, c'est it's learned behaviors. C'est des choses qu'on apprend des autres. Maintenant, moi, j'aime pas quand les gens disent I'm doing it for the culture, because I'm like, for what culture are you doing it? Puis ça, c'est la question que les gens se posent jamais. Pour moi, ça n'existe pas quelqu'un qui n'a pas de culture. Tout le monde a de la culture. La question est, connais-tu ta culture? Puis c'est ça le problème. Il y a des gens qui viennent dans d'autres cultures puis qui disent moi, j'ai pas de culture, fait que je vais prendre et assimiler. Well, maybe that's your culture. That's what you've learned and the behavior that you've taken from other people. Fait que c'est une question qui peut aller vraiment loin puis qui peut pousser vraiment beaucoup. C'est pour ça que moi, personnellement, je me rappelle à un moment donné, j'avais pris un atelier puis il demandait de dire 2 vérités et 1 mensonge. Puis j'ai dit des trucs puis mon mensonge, c'était... Non, une des vérités que j'ai dit, c'est « I don't like art ». Puis tout le monde s'est fâché. Mais afternoon, you don't like art, but you dance, but you listen to music, this, that. Je suis comme, the word art for me makes no sense. C'est comme essayer d'élever quelque chose à un autre niveau puis le séparer de son contexte. The way someone makes food is art. The way someone talks to you is art. Tout, c'est de l'art. Fait que pour moi, c'est comme si on vit dans une société qui essaie de tout séparer puis de tout défaire, puis on oublie la valeur de certaines choses puis que tout est connecté, genre.
I have a question actually for you.
Yeah, go.
Because you mentioned some people don't have culture. They feel like they don't have culture, but maybe that culture that they are admiring is their culture?
Not the culture that they're admiring is their culture. The fact of not acknowledging what your culture is and going to take from other people, maybe that's your culture.
Oh,
the fact of taking.
Being a thief?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's all I want. Maybe I
Just wanted to be clear.
Okay, just so we're clear.
Wow.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you,
being
Janelle.
a thief.
Culture thief.
Thank you.
Yeah, culture vultures.
Culture vulture.
Yeah.
Or, you know, what's the other thing that people say? That other catchphrase. When you take someone's culture, starts
Cultural appropriation.
Cultural
Yeah.
appropriation.
That's culture too, man. It's like
At this point, that's
you
a
learn
great
how to
point.
take things and not get blamed.
That's a
and
great
like,
point,
oh.
actually. You're right.
Yes.
But like bring it back to the b-boying and how important is the style and like the movement. Like I think is one of the things like b-boy talk the most, you know, because at the end of the
100%.
day, everybody learned to do the same moves more or less at the beginning, and like the originality and the style will be like what's predominant and make the difference. with
Super
the other.
important.
Le touch.
Yeah, someone had told me like, again, you get so much information from just being around people, so I can't really quote who it was, but they said like, yo, the goal is that you should be able to go in a club and just see a silhouette and you should know who's dancing. And it's true because the way they're going to dress, the way they're carrying themselves, the swagger when they walk, like to me, that's the idea and the aesthetic.
You have the job already.
Exactly.
And talking about like since the initial subject was like what started in the streets and like where does it travel, I feel like breakdancing, b-boying, and like just dance culture in general in hip hop is like one of the last field who have integrity as term of like, hey, this is where it's coming from, even if you can still like find this in ballet and like, you know, it's like that thing's been diluted and like stretched and really like went far away, like as like graffiti with like who's in gallery now and like, you know, like what is the lazy version of that, of you like taking genre un pochoir, comment on dit un pochoir en anglais déjà?
A stencil?
Yeah, a stencil and like make a, you know, like print it and like just like spray it and call it art, like, you know, like so those two things would be in the same conversation today. There is no separation. So like what would be you take in the dance culture and what is, I guess there is no like good and bad things, but like this is where you guys started and like now is something much bigger, you know?
To me, there's always good and bad things. It's just a question of perspective. From whose point of view are you seeing it? Are you seeing it from the point of view of the person who just wants to enjoy what it is and doesn't really care about the culture? Or are you seeing it from the point of view of someone that like is culturally attached and there's something behind it? Quelque chose qui se passe beaucoup dans les danses urbaines, les danses de rue, c'est que you try to clean it up to make it accessible to everyone. But in cleaning it up, you're removing histories, you're removing values, and you're removing what the dance is. You're bleaching it. So like
Taking
if you
out the
look,
emotion.
so if you look at street dance competitions or shows that they have on TV, and then you look at real street dance competitions and battles, like tu vois vraiment la différence. Comme à la télé, c'est comme ça a été refilmé 50 fois. There's no really that moment, that emotion. C'est juste le visuel.
There's less freestyle, huh?
Ouais.
Because that's the thing too. Because I come from both of these dance background. I was dancing ballet contemporary for like 15 years, and after that started dancing street dance. And like I feel like there's a lack of freestyle in certain genre, and then when they put that street dance on TV, they cut that whole, you know, freestyle, and it's like choreography and like, tu sais, comme tout le monde peut danser ça s'ils sont des danseurs, tu sais. C'est ça aussi qui manque, genre.
C'est diluer quelque chose. C'est encore une fois, c'est la même chose que d'aller, je sais pas moi, dans un restaurant thaïlandais, puis tu manges de la nourriture typique traditionnelle, puis on t'ouvre une version du restaurant ici à Montréal. And like they have to cater to people. Fait que c'est pas épicé du tout. T'es comme, qu'est-ce qui se passe? Ah, it's for the general public.
General public,
Ouais,
we know who
puis,
it is. Huh?
Ben, c'est ça. Arrêtez de dire
qu'on parle de
general
Thai
public.
Express.
Vous savez à qui vous vous adressez. Puis moi, ce que je dis aux gens, c'est instead of watering your stuff down, educate the people. Maybe that culture is not for everyone.
Exactly.
But, you know, money reigns supreme. So,
Once again,
unfortunately,
it's a question of
capitalism is-
for what culture. There's of course people that are gonna sell their culture out, but there are for some people where it's like, nah, I don't care about the money. Like,
Yeah, because
this has more
exactly.
value that you can never
because
imagine.
that culture, especially black culture, the black diaspora, you know, it comes from resistance, you know. So
Facts.
that's also that people don't, they have to, you know, take that in mind, tu sais. Puis talking about b-boys and then DJing. So I know that you have a very wide aesthetic. I love your aesthetic.
Thank you. I'm still
You're
trying
like
to find myself.
visually,
you're in
I feel like you have the sense of putting sound and like, you know, the concrete, the physical together, you know, in a way that it concord. And you have this Art Deco style, you know, that is very classy.
Yeah, we
And
study you.
Oh my God.
They're about to write a book on you.
You know, and so and that too, we talk about freestyle, and so in the way that you make your, you know, their DJing and your aesthetic,
Yeah,
like
your mix are amazing.
Fab.
I really love the fact
Guys.
that you like really soulful, but you can
Yes.
still like brought some BPM and like play some techno and like have like some soul, like something very soulful in your set.
yo,
I'm out. I'm gonna
gassing you up, gassing you up.
gassing me to another
It's a
level
lot
right
of
now.
love. Just take it.
And it's crazy because I really, this is like off topic, but like I really considered stopping DJing.
Please don't.
this
Like
year.
We all
your
do,
voice is
because
unique.
it's fucked
we don't
up,
have
but
to talk after.
no.
But every time I want to stop, like someone comes and like
No,
does something
you sound
like this.
you sound
so,
is
like,
very unique.
Jesus
Like
Christ,
I
thank
discover
you.
you during the global relation,
Yeah, see.
and you can ask Aisha. I was like just like, whoa, what's going on? Who is she?
Yo.
Like I was like, I was in it, man, and I've been listening
you.
everything you put out since, and I'm a fan. I
Oh my
became a fan that day.
God.
Like seriously.
Thank you.
And-
like I
and-
can't stress it enough. I'm so grateful.
So please
for-
never stop DJing.
already
Never
know.
stop.
Like we need you.
But how do you see?
Back to the question.
But how do you see space and sound merging together?
Ooh, that's a really good question. How do I see space and sound merging together? I mean, as much as like I separate the two, they exist together. I don't know. That's a really particular question. Can you rephrase?
Like when I say space, is the whole idea of like style, furniture, because we're talking about Art Deco.
Yeah. No, I mean,
And then like sound, because to me they concord together. You know, a Marcel Breuer chair, and then like, you know,
Yeah, there's something very
song
Polish.
and a song of Hiatus Coyote. To me, it fits together.
oh, yeah. I
you
mean,
know,
that's how my mind. That's how I work. Like I honestly, I joke all the time. Like I think in song lyrics, especially hip hop lyrics. So like 75% of my like Instagram captions will be like hip hop lyrics. You could go check. But I really do think in sound and in space, and I can like listen to a song and like you said, like think of a chair that like sound like that visually compared to the sound. It's weird, but I don't really know how to answer your question, but
It's all there.
it's all there. I don't know. They all coincide in my mind. I don't think I separate anything. I think they all go hand in hand. I think anything that you love, you can really have something to compare it to, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It does.
Julio told me that you were on Instagram, you were going off when the carré, the black square came out, okay? And like, it's
I
okay.
just-
We all
I
went
just-
off. I'm always off, okay?
just
I'm
wanna tell
always,
I'm
people.
always off. I'm never on.
I'm always off,
Je veux juste
okay?
dire à tout le monde maintenant, avant que ça sorte, j'ai pas mis de carré noir.
Nobody did that shit.
J'en ai mis un pendant 30 secondes et je l'ai
Full
vu
leg.
tomber.
It's okay. We forgive you.
I catch
don't know
the
this
vibe
guy.
real quick. I was like, damn.
That's the most important
Nobody's
part,
seeing
because
it.
some people saw that it was dumb. Sorry for the people that probably still have it up, but like some people saw that it was dumb and were still like trying to defend this idiotic thing, and it's like, it's fine to change your mind. It's okay to like
Facts.
come upon some new information and be like, oh shit, maybe I was wrong about that.
Yeah, and somebody
Let me,
explained me.
like,
That's how to get off.
That's the energy
you know
I
what
want
mean?
people
like,
to have.
That's it. I'm wrong 1,000 times a day, but I'm not gonna. I'm not
Stand
willing
by
to.
your wrong.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna die on that hill.
Yeah.
if I'm wrong and you tell me, oh, maybe look at this, I'm gonna be like, oh, you know what? I never thought of that. Like, all right. But back to the black square.
But then, like, my deep question about that was like, what's your philosophy of living free? You know, what's your? Because you know, on Twitter, you're saying some deep stuff. I like it. I really like it.
I'm
but
done now, though. I can't.
But it's okay. But whatever. But
I'm back
now,
to posting selfies and shit.
yeah, let's go. But I want to know what's Jana's philosophy of living free.
What does free mean? I mean, I feel like being free is just doing whatever the fuck you want, like without repercussion, without, you know, rules. You know, I think being free is breaking rules, and I think I do that often. I try to, anyways. Maybe not always intentionally, but like you mentioned, like how I merge sound.
Yeah,
and
in
DJing.
your sets,
I don't like
very
to
obvious.
just stick to one thing. I love jazz. I love techno. I love house.
Yeah, and
I
you're
love
free from
hip-hop.
both sides too, because like, let's be real, you know, like we all be in club and like people expect you because you black to play just like the trap music.
Oh my God,
play
that's
the
like
throwback
the only
things.
thing I don't play is trap.
Amen.
It's like the only thing I don't play is
So,
trap.
you know, people
Unless I
can have
love a particular
expectation.
song and
Okay,
like
people can have big expectation on both
Oh
sides.
my
you know?
God, thank you, huh? Because a lot of people, they come to me like, so Gayans, do you play hip hop? I'm like, yo, I cannot even sing you
It's
a
like
Drake
that
song.
real hip hop.
I play hip hop, but I don't play like I don't play
shit.
top 40. I'm not gonna play the Drake record that
Yo,
everybody loves. I'm not gonna
exactly.
play the like
Do you,
I don't
babe?
know.
Because
Yeah,
you're
so
good
that's-
when
and
you
that's
do you.
I love
That's
it,
freedom.
and it's true to me. Then
Yeah.
I'll play it, but you half the time you won't.
You know, it's
hear
funny, speaking
that.
on DJing, something that like pertaining to style, once again, that people forget is that for me, a DJ is someone that like, I'm expecting to hear your music and what you like and your selection. I don't want to have 5 different nights with 5 different DJs and they're playing the same top 40 song.
And it's like, if you wanted to hear a particular song, you should have put it on your Spotify playlist and stayed home. I want to go out and hear something new. I want to be like, oh my God, what's this song? You know, like that's
I
the
love
vibe.
when they come to me and they're like, what you playing? And it's on a record, a white label. And I'm like,
Can't Shazam this. Can't Shazam this.
no, but I love it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna share for sure.
for
I'm always sharing the music that I'm playing, but it's something that I like. You want me to make the DJ happy? Just come to the DJ and ask them, what is that song?
Exactly.
You know?
that's like ego
Exactly.
boost right there.
Yeah, but also it's for me it's more than ego boost. It's like what, like I made you discover something.
Well, yeah.
And so the music is circulating. So
Exactly.
probably maybe everybody will have good taste.
I don't know about that. Ça va
It's
prendre un
not
peu
that
de temps,
easy.
mais...
It's not that easy.
On peut avoir de l'espoir.
Exactly. But then talk about music, dance, that. Like I want to know because I feel like Montreal, we have the greatest musicians, beat makers, DJs, and we also have the greatest dancers. You know, everybody on the dance scene. A lot of people don't know, but people travel a lot. You know, to do competitions and be like, yo, we have good dancers in Montreal.
Ouais, shout out to Sachou.
Yeah. It's gotta be Shashu. You know? But then I feel like these two worlds are not all the time, you know, on the same clubs or stuff like that.
Like those scenes don't blend, pretty much.
Yeah.
Everybody do their
Which is
own
so weird
things on their
because-
own
And why?
side.
dude?
Should be all together, but I don't know. I feel like I'm very new to all of this, so
So I think one of the main reasons, une des raisons particulières, c'est que people have learned fragments of a culture. So they're like, I'm a dancer. I only go to dance events and hang with dance people. And I'm like, nah, that's not
that's
it.
ridiculous.
Because like you need to be inspired and be around other people. If you're just dancers in a room and there's no DJ, y'all look whack. Like I ain't dancing to no music. Fait que c'est ça l'affaire. Il y a beaucoup de gens qui sont restés dans leur niche et dans leur coin puis qui n'ont pas pris vraiment la culture ou tout le contexte de ce que c'est. Donc des fois, tu vas voir des gens qui passent d'un côté à l'autre, mais la plupart du temps, les gens ils restent de leur côté. Another thing that I think forces that to happen is that in Montreal, let's be honest, for people who are actually making culture happen, there's not a lot of support. So for them to try to stay viable and keep the wheel going, they try to keep their strength in numbers. And there's a lot of fears of like, oh, well, if a dancer crosses over to the music side, then we lost him. Like,
which is so ridiculous.
which is not the case, but
Yeah.
that's how people see it.
Yeah.
Ouais.
But you told me something, an anecdote that happened to you in a house club. A club that played house.
It wasn't a house club. It was just they had a 90s night at a club.
Okay, they have a 90s night.
So, me and my friend, we got dressed. We're like, we gonna be getting down. And, the whole night we're dancing. We're not taking too much space. We're in a corner, I'm not the type of person that goes to make a show. I'm just like feeling the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But a particular song played and people were like really hype. And I find that as a dancer,
it was your time to shine.
It's not even that. It can be that for certain people, but you're sort of the catalyst for people who can't dance or just to get that moment, to get that energy. So we're like, we do through 3 moves and we get back up. And then this guy comes in. He's like, none of that bullshit dancing over here. We're like, what?
Damn, that's aggressive.
So what's funny is that, I guess he was the organizer or something, but he doesn't know that I pretty much know all the DJs and all the staff that's here. So I just look at him, I look at the DJ, and the DJ is looking at me, and I'm like, I'm going home. Thanks a lot for having me. And we just dip.
That's a
shame.
shame.
Everyone was like...
But it's like, as an organizer at a club with music, wouldn't
this is what I mean about not understanding the culture.
And this is what upsets me, because I always feel this kind of I get really upset when I DJ and people are not dancing, and that happens way too much. Yeah, what, you know what I mean? And it's like
they need to get drunk, and I feel like it's ridiculous.
The fun dance.
Why you need to wait until you're intoxicated
to have fun?
To have fun,
Because
and this is a problem. When I say Montreal, that's the girl who plays in Amsterdam and Berlin and Paris and New York who's speaking right now. And this is a Montrealer problem, because people are out there in the club looking at each other. Oh my God, you'd see this person,
so
this and this
weird.
person, and so they're stuck up because they're their own image of when they say we the culture, but they're not participating to the
so
culture
weird.
actually.
It's so weird.
Wow.
And that's
I feel
the
like they
thing.
only dance for certain
C'est ça.
DJs, but that's another conversation. And that's fine, whatever, everyone has their preference, but if I do the same set as X person and you're not dancing,
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, people want to be in the club, but they refuse to participate once they pass the door,
Je pense que tu as mis le doigt vraiment sur le truc. And that's something interesting, c'est que Montréal a de la culture, mais en même temps, Montréal n'a pas de culture. Dans le sens que comme you have a group of people or people that are actually making culture happen, puis il y a des gens qui arrivent, puis ils sont comme, this is great, and they're going to take, or modify things without understanding the repercussions that it has on the city as a whole or on the culture. Tu sais, qu'est-ce qui se passe quand, disons, un club dit, OK, on se débarrasse de cette soirée-là, genre, sans savoir l'impact de cette soirée-là.
Ouais, c'est vrai.
Quand un club dit, à partir de maintenant, plus personne avec des sneakers. Qu'est-ce que ça fait sur le dance floor? How does it report how people go in and have a good time, I'm not going to dance the same or have the same fun if I have to wear my church clothes to go to the club,
It's funny how those things change too. That literally everything that's been told you to not wear in the club are dude, sometimes I'm like, I used to dress like this every day and get shit for it, man. So there is a part of unfairness of man, first of all, you kind of want to dress like I do,
Exactly.
When you are listening to metal 3 years ago and skating, and today is the second time I use this example in that podcast. And now it's and now this is easy, you get the pass everywhere. There is something slightly frustrating about this, you know?
It's like people wearing bandana colors, man. I saw this. That ain't even I've been around places and people, so for me it's and it hurts because I know people that have died because of that.
Yes.
And you're just flossing with your shirt, and it'll be moitié rouge, moitié bleu, and I'm like, fam, what is you doing?
I don't even wear bandanas because I still have this thing in my head. I grew up in Montreal North, so it was, blood and no blue. I was not wearing blue, It's it's still in me, that thing,
People don't remember the times where people would get shot up at Saint Michel in the McDonald's for wearing a red coat. Dude went to order some food and
That's
people were
crazy.
Really? I wasn't allowed.
Yeah, I wasn't
allowed up. And now I know why.
Yo, funny story. I came back from Hong Kong, and there's this crew over there called Buddy Crew. Breaking Crews, we make our own T-shirts because we want to look sponsored and fresh. And I was in Saint Michel, and I didn't think about it. I went to see a friend, and I'm walking towards the bus stop, and these dudes are looking at me. So I'm looking back what's up? And I go sit in the bus stop, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck's wrong with these dudes, man? And I'm sitting in the bus stop, and then I look at my shirt. and like the shirt is completely red. And it's a crew from Hong Kong, so it's Buddy Crew. So there's a big B on the shirt in white and a crown on it.
Target.
And I was like, So I just took my backpack and I put it on my chest and I just waited for the bus. And I was like, dog, you fucked up.
Wow. Hey,
I wasn't going to walk shirtless, so I was just like, let me just...
Oh no. That's
Talking about culture.
Yep.
C'est tellement ça, surtout sur Saint-Laurent, je trouve, vu que c'est la rue, pour nos auditeurs qui connaissent pas Montréal, c'est la rue où est-ce que tout se passe à Montréal depuis des décennies, tu sais. Puis c'est de là aussi que ça se passe, là, tu sais. Comme tu as dit, il y a des bars que les gens se faisaient refuser pour porter des, Adidas pants and stuff like that. Mais, tu vois, souvent les hommes noirs se font refuser plus que n'importe qui.
Ah, facts.
Je trouve que c'est vraiment comme...
like
Il y a un
les
quota.
femmes peuvent... C'est exactement...
7 years ago, you could not get into a club with
Man,
Air
I spent
Forces
literally
on.
years
Everyone has Air Forces on
negotiating
and
with
they're
bouncer
dirty.
to let me in.
Yeah.
That's my childhood, pretty much, you know?
Like, and inside they're playing, again, hip-hop.
Yeah.
In my Air Force One.
You could not get into a club in Montreal 7 years ago with Air Forces on. It was no way. There was no way. And now...
I remember some bars ou des bars qui ont pignon sur rue et qu'on connaît tous. When I arrived here in Montreal in 2009, and I was probably DJ 2 years later also. So it was like, 2010, 11, 13, and like getting booked at club when they told me specifically, we don't play rap music here. Like that was like a no,
Yeah.
especially in the old port. Like,
Yeah. Oh, it's still like
that was like, yeah. And like now it's kind of like, okay, it's like,
Yeah.
I guess we need to play it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a no, we don't want this crowd over here. No. So that's not so long ago, you know?
No.
Puis tu sais, mais par rapport à ça, est-ce qu'il y a des choses que vous voulez qui changent, tu sais, en général, tu sais, dans les institutions, autant que, you know, in communities about these stupid
The law
laws?
has to burn.
Yeah. Genre, specifically
And
in
rebuild it.
Montreal, tu sais. What type of stuff you'd like to change, like, to see in the scene in general, in like the urban scene, like they say, you know?
Soupir.
I'm an extremist. Moi, je suis un
Vas-y,
extrême.
let's go,
Dans
moi.
le sens que comme, if a system's in place and it's been made, you're not going to change the
Yeah,
system.
that's
You
what
can
I'm
put
saying.
band-aids, you can put flashy colors,
it
you can put a
down.
black square on it. It's not going to change anything. La seule chose que je pourrais dire par rapport à ça, par exemple, qui pourrait changer les choses, c'est give the power to the people who are actually making culture happen. Stop doing studies, questionnaires with 150 questions, consultation. This is bullshit. It's money wasted. Just give money to people who are making culture happen. Ça finit là.
And
Puis de
oui.
donner vraiment le pouvoir. Parce que there's a difference between a company coming to hire me and like, hey, we're looking to do this. And like, you know, at the end of the day, they still control, even though I do good work, they'll end up controlling the narrative and the final product. Whereas, let me just do my thing and actually be funded to be able to make something happen.
Mais parlant de ça, là, t'as un projet vraiment fou que tu fais, là.
Ah, yo, tu mets sur le spotlight, là.
So, Pierre Michel is working since 2017.
It's been a long time.
Been a long time.
Since 2018, I think I started
Yeah.
really like focusing on that.
Yeah, you're working on a project of like a cultural center focused on hip hop, genre
Yeah.
with the,
The
you know, the
hip-hop cultural
5
Amazing.
elements of hip hop, you know?
Yes, I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So,
tell us about it.
Basically, I want it to be a space where like anyone that's connected to the culture can just come and make things happen. Like you want to throw an event, we have a space, we're going to help you. You want to make music, we got equipment. I think it's
that.
not a question of talent that we're missing in Montreal. It's actual support and really at the level of the artist. So if I can make a space where the art is accessible for people who want to see and connect with the art, where the artist can create and we can know it as a hub to connect the community, because I feel that à Montréal, c'est vraiment fragmenté. Like we were talking about, dancers are in their corner, graffiti artists, DJs, MCs, people who have knowledge about the culture. Donc, si on regroupe tout le monde ensemble, je pense que ça peut vraiment commencer à faire des grosses
In a
vagues.
bilingual.
Of course.
Bilingual, man,
What is that?
trilingual, quadrilingual, like all the languages.
Well, you speak about like separating, and there's a
Yes.
huge gap between Anglophones and Francophones. Like
Big time.
I'm so grateful for you guys for even allowing me on this show because this doesn't happen. Like
On est là.
there's such a huge gap between like
the
the
show- the
French
show is for the
scene and
city.
the English scene. Like you know, it's so hard for me as a Black woman that speaks English in Quebec to get
true, huh?
opportunities.
You got all the
It's
check marks
true.
for you not to be.
Yeah, like
true.
I don't, and I'm shy, and I don't put myself
Oh,
out
you
there.
lost.
So
Game over.
I'm fucked. I'm completely fucked, you know. So thank you, and I'm so
Wow.
excited to hear how this goes. I'm really excited
Wow, because
Yeah,
it's
it's
true,
a wrap
huh?
for
For
me.
the people who don't know, who are listening and watching and whatever, it's hard to be Black and English speaking in Quebec. This is like the minority of the minorities, like definitely. And I also feel that there's a gap within the Black diaspora between English speaking Blacks and French speaking Blacks, and the sense that so also Haitians being like the majority and they mostly speak French, and you know you have a Black History Month event and it's only focused on Haitians, and sometimes I'm like, yo,
There's
come.
so much more.
C'est
Everyone
ça.
always says
If you're Black in Montreal, you Asian by default.
all the time.
That's what I learned.
Facts.
all the
That's what I
time.
learned
All the
here.
time.
Like, I don't fight it no more. I've been called fake Asian a million times when I didn't even claim to be. I've been bullied by this community here.
I feel you.
We love you, Haiti.
Oh mon
Sac passé.
Dieu. Il est tellement-
Ça commence, ça commence.
Mais it's true facts, but yeah, but I mean, for everyone who's listening, you know, check it out, because it's important, I feel, to have a center, you know, a place where especially teenagers, it's not even for people of our age. I feel like it's
Why?
teenagers, they need that.
I need that.
Yeah, you need that too.
But yeah, it's for all ages, but really
Yeah.
focusing on the next generation so that they can have. And the idea
Yeah.
behind that for me was to be able to give other people what I would have liked to have when I
sure.
was
That's real.
growing up
That's nice.
or going through my
Oh,
artistic journey.
We love that.
Yes, and hopefully you get it. And if you need anything, support,
Yeah.
we got you.
Yeah, you'll be hearing
You don't
about
have
it.
some
I'm
connections.
staying on the low now because I'm working behind the scenes. But as soon as like I get an okay, like the floodgates are going.
Yeah, you should come back talk about it.
Ouais, on est là, on est chaud, tu vois. Définitivement. On parle jamais d'écologie vraiment dans la vie, dans les cercles de noirs, mais pourtant, je trouve qu'on est des gens qui sont genre, tu vois, éco-friendly
Par
par défaut.
nature.
Exactement. OK?
Yo, I got a quick question. J'ai une
Ouais.
question rapide là. Qui a un tiroir de sac là? Un tiroir de sac de plastique là.
I don't anymore. Well, I yeah.
We used to.
There's always that one drawer with a
always
bunch of like
Ouais.
plastic.
Mais j'en ai moins
But it's
maintenant.
better
Parce que je dis
that
plus
than
non comme
throwing
dans le
them
magasin.
out.
But that's the thing. Like, on a
Use them.
toujours cette idée de réutiliser, de prolonger la vie de certains trucs, puis de c'est quoi l'impact que ça va avoir. Because unfortunately, when you're the minority in a community and you're trying to get by, like, these are things that your brain is pre-wired
Yeah.
through trauma to
Use
think
the
of.
butter. Use the butter container
Yo.
for some oxtail.
We were talking about this earlier, actually. That's so real. This is the realest things ever. You know, in every Black household,
Always.
go check the freezer.
Yeah, butter container, the cookie container.
The ice cream container.
Ice
Every
cream container,
container.
classic.
Yes.
And
My
you
mom
gotta
does
ask
not
what
throw
it
away
is.
Yeah.
Tupperware.
Yeah, what's in this?
C'est chouchou, moi, oui.
They're like, oh my god, ice cream. No.
Hot sauce,
Exactly. But
leftover
especially...
fish sauce.
Yes, but
no
especially
sweet
in
in this
streetwear,
house.
I feel like especially in streetwear, we tend to like, you know, reuse stuff. You know, I have vintage glasses right now. You too as well.
That's
you know,
all I shop.
and the recuperation of it, and you know,
Yeah. I mean, I think that's just comes with being Black. We just repurpose and we recreate. You can take something that's old and, you know, flip it.
If you have older sibling, you know the vibe. You're gonna be dressed like them
Yeah.
for 3 generations.
Yo. No. I didn't feel. I was spared from that because my two older siblings are my sisters.
Okay.
So I didn't have to get the hand-me-down.
Okay.
I'm like, yo,
My
I've seen it through
sisters
them.
are
and to other
glad to
people.
get my hand-me-downs.
Yeah, that I can imagine.
Oh, you're the eldest?
And the eldest,
Nice.
That I can
Ooh,
imagine.
I'd like to be a little sister, get on the coals,
That's
you know?
recycling too.
Well,
That is
I'm
recycling.
alone, so it's kind of...
But you know what's funny? Speaking about repurposing things, there's it goes again into African culture where like time is not linear. Time, there's no difference between past, present, and future. Everything is constantly existing and crossbreeding within each other. So therefore, reusing things is not necessarily seen as reusing them. It's like it's still present. It still has
Still
a use.
It has a
Working.
new
Still has
life,
life.
yeah.
Exactly. And as it grows, like something doesn't die, it just transforms. So that t-shirt maybe that like, oh, you know, the sleeve is ripped here. Well, I'm going to cut it off and make a tank top with it.
Exactly.
And then like, what's funny is I have a t-shirt at home, a J Dilla t-shirt, and it was starting to have holes in it. And I liked it so much. I was like, no, I gotta find something to
Gotta
do
save
with it.
JD.
So like I cut the t-shirt and I use it as a cover for my MPC for it not to catch dust, you know? So I'm like, okay.
That
you're
is
staying with
actually
me.
so perfect.
This is what I mean by like you always find a way to repurpose
I
things
like
because
it.
they don't die, they grow and they live on to
Exactly.
become something else.
I mean, that's hip hop, right?
Yeah.
Yo,
Right here.
The heart of hip-hop.
Right here.
That's hip hop for real. That's some bars. And you know, at the end of the show, we always ask people for a recommendation of like TV shows they're watching, films, artwork,
Music, anything.
Yeah, anything. Do you have something you like
I
to suggest
do.
us? Yeah,
Because
go
we were
on.
talking about it
Yeah,
before.
girl.
Lovecraft. Have you watched
Nope.
Lovecraft?
Lovecraft
But I
Country.
heard you talking about it.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
last
Podcast?
episode one.
Yeah.
Episode one,
Exactly.
yeah.
You
Oh,
have
no,
to
episode
watch
two,
that show.
sorry, yeah.
You have to watch that show.
You have to
Alright.
watch it. If you're not watching it, you're asleep, and
the
you
best.
don't want to be asleep.
Damn, that was harsh. I thought I was awake.
For real. Very, very
It's
mwah.
really, it's chef's kiss.
Yes. You have any-
Et toi, Michel?
I just read a lot of
Cool.
books and watch a lot of
Ooh.
documentaries. So
Which
I'm
books?
just like,
Which one? Tell us.
Oh, a book that might be interesting, which speaks on this topic, is The Tanning of America.
Oh.
Yeah,
I've heard about this.
Tanning of
Okay.
America.
Who's the
So
author doing it?
I'm not sure 100%. I think it's Steve Stout.
Okay.
Executive that was in music and then branched out in other companies, and really shows he's using light words and talking about culture, but he's really showing how Black culture is running America. If it wasn't for Black culture, like the economy would be like, and he goes into everything from high fashion to like sports brand, how understanding the culture and how to communicate with people through that culture allows companies to stay fresh and viable.
Yeah, we like
Tanning of
that.
America.
We
Pretty good.
like that.
And for music, yo, I'm bumping a lot of Griselda nowadays.
Hey. Boom.
24/7.
Vas-y, hein? Excellent. And where can we follow you?
Oh, I'm on Twitter, Instagram. I am not my history
Yes.
on all
That's
platforms.
the best name ever, too. Like, you hear it once, it'll be in your mind forever.
Thank you. I
Like,
really
that's a
people
great
ask
name.
me and I have to say it like
I
100
love it.
times, but because
I
it's
love
pretty
it.
long.
It don't need to be explained. It's very impactful.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is.
pretty dope.
Self-explanatory.
Maybe
What
I'll
can we-
change my name.
No, B-boy PM, come on.
I like that. I love
history.
that.
Après-midi, là.
I was
Yeah,
coming
you
at you next.
I'm on Instagram, IAMNOTMYHISTORY, and yeah.
I
I'm
love
not
it.
on
I
the-
love your name. PM? No, because it's like
Wow.
PM, your name. Like, it's great.
It's
That's
sick,
really...
bro.
It's like it's a fun hour, you know?
Yeah. Happy hour.
C'est le temps du goûter, quoi.
You know?
Sucrerie.
Awesome. Ben, c'était un plaisir de vous avoir.
Thanks for
It
having
was a
me.
pleasure
Merci
to
for
have
having
you.
us. This is great.
Yo. and,
That was a great episode with some first guest.
Yes. Ah, on a bien fait ça, c'était pas pire.
C'était bon.
OK. Fait qu'on se revoit la semaine prochaine.
Sans faute. C'était le bulletin des cousins. Je suis Jules Mandi.
Et Aïcha et Gaillance.
À plus.
Bye bye.